Have you ever watched a basketball player hit a tough jump shot and wondered, how do they make that look so easy? Some shots are close to the basket, like layups, and others are long three-pointers. But the mid-range shot is different. It's taken from the area between the paint and the three-point line. It's not the easiest shot, and it doesn't give as many points as a three, but when someone masters it, it becomes a deadly weapon defenders struggle to stop. No player in basketball history did this better than Michael Jordan. His mid-range game was so precise and smart that defenders rarely found a way to guard him successfully. In this video, we're going to break down why Jordan's mid-range was nearly unstoppable, step by step, in simple English. You'll see how skill, strategy, and practice created one of basketball's greatest weapons. Before we dive in, like this video and subscribe to GOAT Report so you never miss stories about the legends who changed the game. What is the mid-range? The mid-range in basketball is the space between the paint, that's the area close to the basket, and beyond the three-point line. Any shot taken from this area is worth 2 points, no matter where the player stands. Many people think the easiest ways to score are either layups, right under the basket, or long three-pointers beyond the arc. The mid-range is different. It's harder than a layup and doesn't give as many points as a three. Because of this, many players today avoid it, especially with modern analytics telling them to take more efficient shots. Michael Jordan didn't care about that. He understood the mid-range could be deadly when used correctly. Once he got into that zone, few defenders could stop him. His skill, timing, and ability to read the defense made the mid-range one of his most unstoppable weapons. Jordan mastered mid-range early. Michael Jordan didn't start as a pure shooter. When he first entered the NBA, fans noticed his athletic moves, his dunks, and his ability to drive straight to the basket. Scoring was mostly about getting close and finishing strong. But over time, Jordan developed one of the most reliable mid-range games in basketball history. He worked on it every day, practicing jump shots from the space between the paint and the three-point line. His coach, Phil Jackson, explained that Jordan built his mid-range shot through repetition and focus. He practiced thousands of shots, from different angles and under pressure, until it became automatic. During games, defenders couldn't rely on luck. Jordan could pull up for a perfect mid-range jumper anytime. This hard work, combined with his natural skill and understanding of the game, made his mid-range nearly unstoppable. It became one of his signature weapons on offense. The numbers tell the story. Jordan's mid-range shooting wasn't just stylish, it was highly effective and efficient. In the 1996-97 NBA season, when the league first officially tracked mid-range shots, Jordan made 588 of 1,202 attempts. That's about 49%, an impressive number given the difficulty of these shots. He didn't just make a lot of mid-range shots, he made more than anyone else that season. Jordan scored 547 mid-range baskets, outpacing every other player in the league. What makes this even more remarkable is that most of these shots were contested. Defenders were trying their hardest to block him, push him off balance, or disrupt his rhythm. Even under constant pressure, Jordan maintained high accuracy. His mid-range game wasn't a fluke, it was the result of skill, practice, and understanding of spacing and timing. That's why defenders could rarely stop him from scoring in this zone. The mid-range challenges defenders. So why was Jordan's mid-range truly unstoppable? It comes down to the difficulty of the shot itself and how Jordan mastered it. A mid-range shot is tricky because the defender is close, the shooter is often moving, and there's less space than a three-pointer, but more space than a layup. Most players struggle in this zone because it requires a soft touch, perfect timing, and a good sense of rhythm. Jordan didn't just struggle through these shots, he dominated them. He could pull up after a dribble, fade away from a defender, or shoot off balance while still scoring consistently. Defenders hated this because there was rarely an easy way to block or stop him. His skill, timing, and ability to read defenders made the mid-range zone a nearly automatic scoring area for one of the greatest players in history. Jordan's fadeaway made mid-range deadly. One reason Jordan's mid-range was so effective was his fadeaway jump shot. This move is when he takes a dribble, turns his body, and jumps backward while shooting. It sounds simple, but it's very hard for defenders to stop. When Jordan faded back, defenders faced a tough choice. Either move back with him and risk losing balance, stay put and get bumped, or try to block while off position. Jordan's strength, balance, and control let him aim over outstretched hands and still make the shot consistently. This wasn't just a casual move, it became one of his most famous weapons. In finals games and crucial moments, Jordan hit fadeaway mid-range shots that seemed almost impossible. Defenders could plan all they wanted, but against Jordan's fadeaway, their best efforts often came up short. Physics A&D practice. Jordan's mid-range ability wasn't magic. It was built on skill, control, and hard work. He had incredible body control, balance, and quick feet, which helped him create space even when defenders were right on him. His strong core allowed him to stay steady while shooting off balance or after a sudden stop. Agility was another key. Jordan could stop and start in a flash, giving him just enough time to pull up for a jump shot before defenders could react. This made him unpredictable and extremely difficult to guard. But it wasn't only natural talent. Jordan practiced relentlessly. He trained his footwork, timing, conditioning, and shooting mechanics every day. This preparation made his mid-range shot reliable in every situation, early in games, late in games, and in clutch moments when every point mattered. That combination of skill and work made his mid-range nearly unstoppable. Mental confidence. Shooting well isn't just about physical skill, it's also about the mind. Jordan believed in himself and visualized each shot before taking it. This focus helped him stay calm under pressure. Even when defenders closed in, he trusted his training and instincts. In big games, especially late in the fourth quarter, opponents knew he would attack, and still, they struggled to stop him. Confidence made his mid-range nearly unstoppable. Jordan's mid-range in historic moments. Some of Jordan's most unforgettable plays came from mid-range. A perfect example is the 1998 NBA Finals, his last championship with the Chicago Bulls. With seconds left against the Utah Jazz, he hit a mid-range jump shot to win the title. It wasn't a long three-pointer, it was a mid-range shot. Perfectly timed and nearly impossible to defend. That moment showed the world that Jordan's mid-range wasn't just about scoring points, it was a weapon in the biggest games, under the most pressure, and a signature of his greatness. Why mid-range is harder than it looks? The mid-range shot is hard because players face many challenges. They must stay balanced while moving, shoot quickly before defenders close in, and control their body to get the shot off under pressure. Defenders are close, making each attempt contested. Jordan mastered all of this. His mid-range wasn't just about accuracy, it was about timing, creating space, and reading defenders. That combination made his shot almost impossible to stop. The legacy of Jordan's mid-range. Michael Jordan's mid-range mastery influenced generations of players. Stars like Kobe Bryant and Dirk Nowitzki studied his game and built mid-range shots inspired by him. Even today, in an era where analytics often favor three-pointers and layups, players and fans respect how Jordan dominated this area. Modern stars like Kevin Durant and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander show that a strong mid-range game is still valuable. Jordan's approach proved that skill, timing, and strategy in the mid-range can be just as deadly as any long-range shot, leaving a lasting mark on basketball history. Understanding volume and efficiency. Michael Jordan didn't just take mid-range shots occasionally, he used them constantly. In many seasons, he attempted hundreds of mid-range jumpers, far more than most top scorers. What made this special was how accurate he was, making nearly half of them, even while facing the league's best defenders every night. This combination of high volume and high success is very rare in basketball history. Defenders focused on stopping him, but Jordan's skill, timing, and technique allowed him to keep scoring. His mid-range became a reliable weapon that few players in history could match. Mixing skills. Michael Jordan's mid-range wasn't his only weapon. He could drive to the basket, use his athletic moves, score off passes, and make free throws. Defenders had to cover every part of his game. If they focused on stopping his drives, he would pull up for a mid-range jumper. If they guarded the mid-range, he attacked the rim. This unpredictability made him nearly impossible to stop. Why defenders couldn't stop it? Defenders had a hard time stopping Jordan's mid-range shot because he was so efficient and confident. He could take tough shots under pressure, create his own opportunities, and use a mix of moves defenders couldn't predict. His skill, body control, and mental strength made the mid-range not just a part of his game, it became one of his main weapons for scoring. How Jordan changed the game. Jordan didn't just score from mid-range, he changed how players think about scoring. Before him, many relied on close shots or simple jumpers. Jordan showed that mastering the mid-range could win games, championships, and scoring titles. His style influenced future stars and still shapes how coaches teach players today, proving that a strong mid-range game can be a powerful part of any player's toolkit. So now you know why Michael Jordan's mid-range was nearly unstoppable. But what really made it so special? Was it his skill? His mental strength? Or the way he combined both? The truth is, it was all of it. His shots were accurate, consistent, and unpredictable. Defenders could try every trick in the book, but Jordan had mastered every way to score from mid-range, making it nearly impossible to guard him consistently. Does this make you see why he is still considered one of the greatest players ever? And what can today's players learn from studying his mid-range game? If you enjoyed this deep dive, like this video, and subscribe to GOAT Report. Hit the bell icon so you never miss our stories about basketball legends, strategy, and the skills that change the game. Thanks for watching, and remember, behind every great player is a lesson worth learning.